Today we will be taking T-notes on chemical formulas. And a chemical formula is just a chemical compound that is represented by chemical symbols, or what we know as the atomic symbols. For example, H2O, and we know that H stands for hydrogen and O stands for oxygen. Again, here is carbon monoxide, which carbon is C and oxygen is O. So these are just representations of the chemical compound using chemical symbols. A compound, remember, is two or more elements that are bonded together. They are chemically joined. For example, here we have CO2, and notice that there is a bond between the oxygen and the carbon. Over here we have hydrogens bonded to oxygen in order to make water. A mixture is just a combination of either elements and elements, elements and compounds, or compounds and compounds. They're together in the same area, but they are not chemically joined or chemically bonded together. When we're reading a chemical formula, we can tell a few things. We can see how many elements are present, how many of each element there are, and the total number of atoms in that compound. For example, here we have water. The elements present is hydrogen and oxygen. We have the number 2 located down here by the letter H, which is hydrogen. So I know that I have 2 hydrogens. And because there is nothing next to the O, it just means that there's one of those. So we can say we have 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. The total number of atoms is just adding these 2 up. So we have 2 atoms plus 1 is a total of 3 atoms. Here is an example for you to try, C6H12O6, also known as glucose. Pause the video, fill out your information, and when you're ready to check your answers, begin the video again. Okay, so for the elements present, we see carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. C is carbon, H is hydrogen, and O is oxygen. How many atoms of each element do we have? Well, we have 6 carbon, we have 12 hydrogen, and we have 6 oxygen. The total number is 6 plus 12 plus 6, so we have a total of 24 atoms in this compound. Here is another example for you to try, Mg, and notice that the parentheses is around the hydroxide, OH, and there's a 2 outside of here. Go ahead and try this. This might be a little challenging, and start the video back up when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, so we know that there are 3 elements present. We have magnesium, which is Mg, O, oxygen, and hydrogen, H. Now, how many of each element do I have? All right, so with the magnesium, it's sitting all by itself, and there's no number to the right of it. So we know that there is just 1 of those magnesiums. For this, however, because the hydroxide, the OH, is inside of the parentheses and there's a 2 on the outside, the 2 applies to everything that is inside. So it is as if you were saying O2, H2. So we know that we have 2 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. That gives us a total of 5 atoms. Here is another example for you to try. It's Mg3, PO4, and that is all surrounded by 2. Go ahead and pause the video and start it back up when you're ready. Okay, with this one we have magnesium, we have phosphorus, and oxygen for how many elements are present. How many atoms do I have of each element? For magnesium, I have 3. For phosphorus, I have 2. And for oxygen, I have 2 times 4, which I have 8. So the total would then be 13, because 8 plus 2 plus 3 is 13. Okay, so we've reached the end of our T-notes, and what I would like for you to do is have these 10 compounds written in your notebook. I would like for you to list the elements that are present in each of the compounds, to write down the number of each atom for each element that is present, and the total number of atoms in that compound. Be ready to have your T-notes and these practice problems to show for a stamp. Thank you for watching.